Welcome back to Official Sigma Male, the only channel that truly understands the enigmatic nature of the Sigma mindset. If you're watching this, chances are you've already recognized something different about yourself, something that sets you apart from the crowd, something that makes others, especially women, take notice in ways they can't quite explain. Today, we're diving deep into the psychological territory that most men will never understand, the 8 craziest things women notice about Sigma men. And trust me, these aren't your typical alpha male observations. These are the subtle, almost supernatural qualities that make women stop in their tracks and wonder, what is it about this guy? I've spent years studying behavioral psychology, social dynamics, and the unique patterns that define the Sigma archetype. What I've discovered will probably surprise you because it goes against everything mainstream dating advice teaches. While other men are busy peacocking and trying to impress, Sigma men are creating an entirely different kind of impact, one that operates on a much deeper, more primal level. Here's the thing that most people don't understand about the Sigma male phenomenon. It's not about being antisocial or mysterious for the sake of it. It's about operating from a place of genuine self-sufficiency and internal validation that naturally creates an aura of intrigue. Women have evolved to detect authenticity, and when they encounter a man who genuinely doesn't need external validation, their entire nervous system responds differently. Throughout this video, we'll explore each of these 8 observations through real-world examples, psychological principles, and the kind of insider knowledge that only comes from truly understanding the Sigma mindset. You'll learn why these traits have such a powerful effect, how they manifest in everyday situations, and most importantly, how to recognize and develop these qualities authentically. But before we begin, if you're serious about understanding the Sigma male journey and want access to content that goes deeper than surface-level advice, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is growing a community of men who understand that true power comes from within, and every subscriber helps us reach more men who are ready to embrace their authentic Sigma nature. The women in your life have been noticing these things about you, whether you realize it or not. It's time to understand exactly what they see and why it has such a profound impact. Let's begin this journey into the mysterious world of Sigma male magnetism. The mysterious silence that speaks volumes. When most men enter a room, they feel compelled to announce their presence through words, jokes, or attention-seeking behaviors. They believe that silence equals invisibility, and invisibility equals failure. But here's where the Sigma male operates on a completely different frequency. One that women find absolutely mesmerizing. The Sigma male's silence isn't empty space waiting to be filled. It's purposeful, loaded with intention, and speaks to a level of self-assurance that most people never achieve. Women notice this immediately because it defies their evolutionary programming. They're accustomed to men who compete for attention through verbal dominance, humor, or storytelling. When they encounter a man who is comfortable existing in silence, their curiosity becomes almost overwhelming. This isn't about being socially awkward or having nothing to say. The Sigma male possesses what I call selective communication. He speaks when his words add value, not when silence feels uncomfortable. Women have been conditioned to associate constant chatter with insecurity and the need for validation. So when they meet a man who doesn't feel compelled to fill every quiet moment, it triggers a fascinating psychological response. Let me give you a real-world example. Picture a corporate meeting where everyone is trying to impress the new female executive. The alpha types are dominating the conversation, the beta males are nodding along enthusiastically, and everyone is competing for airtime. Then there's the Sigma male, sitting back observing, processing. When he finally speaks, it's with precision and insight that cuts through all the noise. The executive's attention immediately shifts to him, not because he demanded it, but because his silence made his words carry weight. Women interpret this selective communication as a sign of depth and intelligence. They understand intuitively that a man who chooses his words carefully likely has more substantial thoughts than someone who speaks without consideration. This creates what psychologists call the scarcity principle. Because his words are rare, they become more valuable. But here's what makes this particularly powerful. The Sigma male's silence creates space for others to reveal themselves. While everyone else is talking, he's learning. He's reading body language, understanding motivations, and gathering intelligence that others miss entirely. Women notice this observational quality and find it incredibly attractive because it suggests he truly sees them, not just what they're presenting on the surface. The mysterious aspect comes from the fact that his silence leaves room for imagination. When someone talks constantly, you know exactly what they're thinking. When someone is selectively silent, your mind starts wondering, what is he thinking? What does he know that I don't? What's going on behind those eyes? This creates an irresistible urge to draw him out, to be the one who gets him to open up. I've observed this phenomenon countless times in social settings. The Sigma male will enter a group conversation and remain quiet while others perform their social rituals. The women in the group initially focus on the more vocal men, but gradually their attention shifts to the silent observer. They start making eye contact with him, trying to read his reactions, seeking his approval or acknowledgement. His silence becomes a magnet that pulls their focus away from the noise. This isn't manipulation, it's authenticity. The Sigma male isn't calculating these moments for effect. He's genuinely more interested in understanding than in being understood. He values quality over quantity in all his interactions, including conversations. When he does speak, it's because he has something meaningful to contribute, not because he feels socially obligated to make noise. Women also notice that his silence demonstrates emotional regulation and impulse control. In a world where most people react immediately to every stimulus, a man who can pause, process, and respond thoughtfully stands out dramatically. This suggests maturity, wisdom, and the kind of emotional stability that women find deeply attractive in a long-term partner. The Sigma male's comfortable relationship with silence also indicates that he doesn't need constant external stimulation or validation. He's content with his own thoughts and doesn't require others to entertain him or make him feel worthy. This level of self-sufficiency is incredibly rare and deeply appealing to women who are tired of being responsible for men's emotional well-being. Furthermore, his silence often forces others to step up their communication game. When someone doesn't feel compelled to fill awkward pauses, the people around him start revealing more about themselves as they attempt to connect. Women find themselves sharing deeper thoughts and feelings with him because his quiet presence feels safe and non-judgmental. The psychological impact extends beyond mere attraction. Women often report feeling more authentic around Sigma males because they don't feel pressure to perform or compete for attention. His silence creates a calm, accepting environment where genuine connection becomes possible. This mysterious silence also suggests that he has other things on his mind, important things that require his mental energy. Women interpret this as evidence of purpose and ambition. A man who isn't constantly seeking social validation clearly has other priorities, and this independence is incredibly attractive to high-value women who want partners, not dependents. The power of the Sigma male's silence lies in its authenticity and purpose. It's not a technique or strategy, it's a natural expression of a man who has developed a rich inner life and doesn't need constant external validation to feel complete. Women notice this quality immediately because it represents something increasingly rare in modern dating, a man who is genuinely comfortable with himself, the way they command respect without demanding it. Here's something that absolutely fascinates women about Sigma males. They never have to ask for respect, yet they receive it naturally from everyone around them. While other men are constantly trying to prove their worth through dominance displays or aggressive posturing, the Sigma male operates from a completely different paradigm. This phenomenon occurs because the Sigma male understands a fundamental truth. Respect cannot be demanded. It can only be earned through consistent actions and authentic character. Women notice immediately when a man is trying too hard to gain respect versus when respect flows to him naturally. Picture this scenario. Someone makes a disrespectful comment in a group setting. The alpha male might respond with aggression, the beta male might laugh it off uncomfortably, but the Sigma male, he simply gives a calm, steady look that communicates boundaries without saying a word. Women observe this reaction and think, this man doesn't need to fight for his dignity because he never lost it. The Sigma male's respect comes from his unwavering personal standards. He treats everyone with basic human dignity, but doesn't compromise his values to be liked. Women notice that he's polite to the waiter, respectful to elderly people, and kind to children, not because he's performing, but because that's genuinely who he is. What makes this particularly attractive is the confidence it demonstrates. A man who commands respect without demanding it clearly believes in his own worth at a deep level. He doesn't need external validation because his self-respect is non-negotiable. Women find this incredibly appealing because it suggests emotional stability and maturity. The Sigma male gains respect through competence rather than charisma. He lets his skills, knowledge, and results speak for themselves. Women notice when other people naturally seek his advice or turn to him during challenging situations. This organic leadership is far more attractive than forced dominance because it's based on genuine value. Perhaps most importantly, women observe that the Sigma male respects himself enough to walk away from disrespectful situations. He doesn't engage in pointless arguments or tolerate mistreatment. This self-respect creates a protective boundary that women find both attractive and reassuring. They understand that a man who respects himself will likely respect them as well. The psychological impact on women is profound. They're accustomed to men who either demand respect aggressively or accept disrespect passively. The Sigma male's natural command of respect suggests a level of inner strength that most women rarely encounter, creating both attraction and a desire to be worthy of his respect in return. Their ability to disappear and reappear at will. Women find this trait absolutely mind-bending about Sigma males. They can vanish from social circles for weeks or months, then reappear as if no time has passed, with zero explanation or apology. While other men feel obligated to maintain constant social presence and explain their every move, the Sigma male operates by his own schedule and priorities. This disappearing act isn't about playing games or creating artificial scarcity. The Sigma male genuinely has other things that demand his attention. Personal projects, self-improvement, or simply the need for solitude to recharge. Women notice that when he's absent, he's not desperately trying to stay connected through social media or constant texting. What fascinates women most is his complete comfort with this pattern. He doesn't feel guilty about disappearing, doesn't make excuses when he returns, and doesn't seem to worry about what people thought while he was gone. This level of self-assurance is incredibly rare and attractive. When he reappears, it's never with fanfare or attention-seeking behavior. He simply shows up, engages naturally, and acts as if the absence never happened. Women observe that he doesn't seem to have FOMO, fear of missing out, or anxiety about being forgotten. He trusts that the right people will still be there when he returns. This behavior demonstrates supreme confidence in his own value. Most men fear that if they're not constantly visible, they'll be replaced or forgotten. The Sigma male knows that his worth isn't dependent on constant availability. He understands that quality relationships survive absence, while superficial connections don't, and he's perfectly fine with that filtering process. Women also notice that his disappearances aren't reactive or emotional. He doesn't vanish because he's upset or trying to prove a point. He leaves when he needs space and returns when he's ready to engage again. This emotional regulation is incredibly attractive because it suggests maturity and self-awareness. Perhaps most intriguingly, women find themselves thinking about him more when he's absent than when he's present. His comfortable relationship with disappearing creates a psychological vacuum that draws their attention. They wonder what he's doing, how he's spending his time, and why he doesn't seem to need constant social connection like everyone else. This pattern also demonstrates that he has a rich inner life and personal interests that don't require external validation. While other men are constantly seeking social stimulation, the Sigma male is equally content alone or with others, a level of independence that women find both mysterious and deeply attractive. Their ability to disappear and reappear at will. Women find this trait absolutely mind-bending about Sigma males. They can vanish from social circles for weeks or months, then reappear as if no time has passed, with zero explanation or apology. While other men feel obligated to maintain constant social presence, the Sigma male operates by his own schedule. This disappearing act isn't about playing games. The Sigma male genuinely has other priorities: personal projects, self-improvement, or simply needing solitude to recharge. Women notice that when he's absent, he's not desperately trying to stay connected through social media or constant texting. What fascinates women most is his complete comfort with this pattern. He doesn't feel guilty about disappearing, doesn't make excuses when he returns, and doesn't worry about what people thought while he was gone. This level of self-assurance is incredibly rare and attractive. When he reappears, it's never with fanfare. He simply shows up, engages naturally, and acts as if the absence never happened. Women observe that he doesn't have FOMO or anxiety about being forgotten. He trusts that the right people will still be there when he returns. This behavior demonstrates supreme confidence in his own value. Most men fear that if they're not constantly visible, they'll be replaced. The Sigma male knows his worth isn't dependent on constant availability. Quality relationships survive absence, superficial connections don't, and he's fine with that. Filtering process. Perhaps most intriguingly, women find themselves thinking about him more when he's absent than when he's present. His comfortable relationship with disappearing creates a psychological vacuum that draws their attention. They wonder what he's doing and why he doesn't need constant social connection like everyone else. How they remain calm in chaos while others panic. Women are absolutely mesmerized by the Sigma male's ability to remain completely composed when everything around him is falling apart. While other men either freeze up or become aggressive under pressure, the Sigma male becomes eerily calm, and this reaction drives women crazy with attraction. This isn't about being emotionless or detached. The Sigma male processes stress differently because he's developed what psychologists call emotional regulation. When crisis hits, instead of reacting impulsively, he takes a mental step back and assesses the situation objectively. Picture this. A group is facing a serious problem, maybe a work crisis or emergency situation. Everyone else is panicking, talking over each other, or making emotional decisions. The Sigma male quietly observes, processes the information, and then speaks with clarity and purpose. Women notice this immediately because leadership in chaos is incredibly rare and attractive. What makes this particularly powerful is that his calmness isn't performative. He's not trying to impress anyone. He genuinely operates better under pressure. Women can sense this authenticity and find themselves naturally looking to him for guidance when things get tough. His calm demeanor also demonstrates emotional maturity and life experience. Women interpret this as evidence that he's been through challenges before and developed the wisdom to handle adversity. This suggests reliability and strength, qualities every woman seeks in a potential partner. The psychological impact is profound. In a world where most people are reactive and emotional, a man who can think clearly under pressure represents safety and security. Women feel protected around him because they know he won't make impulsive decisions that could harm them both. Perhaps most importantly, his calmness creates space for solutions. While others are consumed by the problem, he's already thinking about answers. Women observe this problem-solving mentality and recognize it as a sign of true leadership and intelligence. The magnetic confidence that needs no validation. Women are drawn to Sigma males like magnets because of their unshakable confidence that doesn't require constant reinforcement. While other men are constantly seeking approval through bragging, showing off, or fishing for compliments, the Sigma male's confidence is quietly self-sustaining. This isn't arrogance or fake bravado. The Sigma male's confidence comes from genuine self-knowledge and acceptance. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, accepts both, and doesn't need others to validate his worth. Women find this incredibly attractive because it's so rare in today's validation-seeking culture. Women notice immediately when a man's confidence is dependent on external factors versus when it comes from within. The Sigma male doesn't need to name-drop, flash expensive items, or constantly talk about his achievements. His confidence radiates naturally through his posture, eye contact, and calm presence. What makes this particularly magnetic is that he's not trying to impress anyone. His confidence isn't performance-based, it's authentic. Women can sense when a man is genuinely comfortable in his own skin versus when he's putting on an act to gain approval. This self-assured energy creates a powerful psychological effect. Women feel more relaxed around him because he's not constantly seeking their validation or approval. They don't feel pressured to stroke his ego or manage his emotions, which allows for more genuine connection. The Sigma male's confidence also demonstrates emotional independence. He doesn't need others to feel good about himself, which suggests he won't be needy or dependent in relationships. Women find this emotional stability incredibly appealing because it promises a partnership of equals rather than caretaking. Most importantly, his unvalidated confidence suggests he has something real to be confident about. Women interpret this as evidence of competence, success, and inner strength, qualities that naturally attract them on both conscious and subconscious levels. 6. Their selective attention that makes them feel special. Women become absolutely captivated by the Sigma male's selective attention because when he chooses to focus on them, it feels like winning the lottery. Unlike other men who give attention freely to anyone who will receive it, the Sigma male's attention is rare, deliberate, and incredibly valuable. This selectivity isn't about being rude or dismissive. The Sigma male simply chooses quality over quantity in all his interactions. He'd rather have one meaningful conversation than 10 superficial ones. Women notice this pattern and realize that his attention can't be bought, manipulated, or demanded. It must be earned. When he does give his attention, it's complete and undivided. He's not checking his phone, looking around the room, or mentally planning his exit. This level of presence is so rare that women often feel like they're the only person in the world during these moments. Women also observe that his attention isn't given based on physical appearance alone. He seems more interested in authenticity, intelligence, and character. This makes them want to show their best selves, not their most performative selves, which creates deeper, more meaningful connections. The psychological impact is powerful because scarcity creates value. When something is freely available, we don't appreciate it. When something is rare and selective, we treasure it. Women find themselves working harder to maintain his interest because they know it's not guaranteed. His selective attention also demonstrates self-respect and high standards. Women interpret this as evidence that he values himself and won't settle for just anyone. This suggests that if he chooses them, it means something significant. They've met his standards, which makes them feel special and chosen. Most importantly, his selectivity filters for quality people. Women recognize that a man who is choosy about where he invests his time and energy is likely to be a better long-term partner than someone who spreads himself thin, trying to please everyone. 7. The independence that intimidates and attracts simultaneously. Women experience a fascinating contradiction when encountering Sigma males. They're simultaneously intimidated and attracted by their complete independence. While most men seek partnership to feel complete, the Sigma male is genuinely whole on his own, and this creates a powerful psychological tension. This independence isn't about rejecting relationships or being antisocial. The Sigma male simply doesn't need others to function, feel fulfilled, or validate his existence. He wants companionship but doesn't require it for his happiness or self-worth. Women find this intimidating because it challenges their traditional role expectations. They're accustomed to men who need them in some capacity, emotionally, domestically, or socially. The Sigma male's self-sufficiency can make them wonder what value they could possibly add to his life. Yet this same independence is incredibly attractive because it represents freedom from neediness and codependence. Women realize that any relationship with him would be based on genuine desire rather than desperate need, a much healthier foundation. His independence demonstrates emotional maturity and life skills that most men lack. He can cook, clean, manage his finances, and handle his emotional needs without external support. This competence is deeply attractive to high-value women seeking equal partners. Most powerfully, his independence means that if he chooses to be with someone, it's a genuine choice rather than settling or desperation. Women understand that earning the attention of a truly independent man is a real accomplishment because he has the option to walk away at any time. This creates a unique dynamic where women feel both challenged to prove their worth and relieved to be with someone who won't drain their energy through neediness. Their authentic indifference to social hierarchies. Women are fascinated by how Sigma males completely ignore social hierarchies. While other men are constantly trying to climb the social ladder or prove their status, the Sigma male treats everyone the same, from CEOs to janitors, with equal respect and indifference to their position. This isn't about being rebellious or disrespectful. The Sigma male simply evaluates people based on character rather than titles, wealth, or social standing. Women notice he's equally comfortable talking to a homeless person as he is to a billionaire. His indifference to status games confuses and attracts women because it's so rare. Most men either try to impress high-status people or dismiss low-status ones. The Sigma male does neither. He remains authentically himself, regardless of who he's interacting with. Women find this incredibly attractive because it demonstrates genuine confidence and values. A man who doesn't change his behavior based on someone's social position clearly has strong internal principles and isn't seeking approval from anyone. This authentic indifference also means he won't be impressed by a woman's status, wealth, or social connections. He evaluates her as a person, not as a trophy or status symbol, creating the possibility for genuine connection based on who she really is, rather than what she represents. There you have it, the 8 craziest things women notice about Sigma men, that create an almost magnetic attraction they can't explain or resist. From the mysterious silence that speaks volumes to the authentic indifference to social hierarchies, these qualities represent something increasingly rare in today's world. A man who is genuinely complete within himself. What makes these traits so powerful isn't that they're calculated strategies. They're natural expressions of a mindset that values authenticity over approval and depth over superficiality. Women notice these qualities because they represent emotional maturity, self-sufficiency, and genuine confidence that can't be faked. The Sigma male doesn't set out to be intriguing or mysterious. These qualities emerge naturally from a man who has done the inner work of understanding himself and refuses to compromise his values for social acceptance. This authenticity is what creates the magnetic effect that women find irresistible. Remember, the goal isn't to manipulate or impress. These traits develop organically when you focus on becoming the most authentic version of yourself. When you're genuinely content with your own company, truly confident in your abilities, and honestly indifferent to others' opinions, you naturally become magnetic to the right people. If this content resonated with you and you're ready to dive deeper into the Sigma male mindset, subscribe to Official Sigma Male and join thousands of men who are walking their own path. We're building a community where authentic masculinity is understood and celebrated, not diluted for mass appeal. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and continue your journey toward becoming the most powerful version of yourself. The right people will always notice the right things about you.